Welcome to A Slice with Dice, where we explore the real-life experiences of school leadership. I'm Corey Alderdice, Executive Director of the Arkansas School for Mathematics, Sciences, and the Arts. I'm a seasoned school administrator of specialized programs and will share personal reflections, lessons learned, and insights from the ever-evolving world of education. Whether you're a teacher, leader, parent, or simply passionate about schools, join me as we dive into the challenges and triumphs of guiding schools and shaping our communities. Here's this week's thought. Every year, I like to start off things with a theme that will shape our work, our discussions, and our impact as a school. In 2023, that theme was We, Not Me. The goal was not to get lost in our individual daily pursuits, but instead to focus on our collective work. By emphasizing both a shared vision and shared responsibility for success, the end goal would be to balance our individual and institutional growth. That topic returned to my mind recently when coming across a study online. So this week, we're diving into a fascinating topic that touches on the very words we choose when we speak or write. Pronouns. Now, you might not think much about them in your everyday conversations, but recent research by Mohamed, Hussein, and Zakary Tormala at Stanford University has shown that the pronouns we use, especially in tense or adversarial situations, can significantly impact how our messages are received. So, let's unpack this together. Imagine you're in the middle of a heated discussion. The stakes are high, opinions are clashing, and emotions are running wild. In moments like these, every word counts. Now, what if I told you that something as simple as choosing the word you over we could be the difference between your message being perceived as aggressive or open-minded? According to the author's research published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology in 2024, Hussein and Tormala explored how pronoun usage affects perceived receptiveness, particularly in adversarial contexts. Receptiveness in this context refers to how open and willing a person seems to be to listen to engage with, and consider opposing viewpoints. So why pronouns exactly? Well, they're tiny but mighty. They carry weight because they directly address the speaker or listener. But the power of pronouns lies not just in their meaning, but in the subtle, often subconscious or unconscious cues they send. The researchers conducted several studies where participants read messages that either used you pronouns or we pronouns in adversarial settings. Think of debates, arguments, or even tense feedback at work. What they found was striking. Messages that used you pronouns were often seen as less receptive and more aggressive. For example, in one study, participants who read a speech containing you statements felt that the speaker was less open to other viewpoints and, as a result, found the speech less persuasive. Let's think about this for a moment. Why would you come across as so aggressive? It's all about the focus. When someone says you, it can feel like they're pointing a finger, signaling you out, maybe even blaming you. It can trigger a defensive response, making the listener less open to the message. On the other hand, we creates a sense of shared responsibility and common ground. It signals that the speaker and listener are in this together, which can make the message feel more inclusive and less controversial and confrontational even. This effect isn't just limited to one-on-one conversations. It extends to how we interact in group settings, online forums, and even the workplace. Another study by the same researchers found that feedback using we pronouns was perceived as more constructive and less hostile, leading to better collaboration and more positive outcomes. But here's where it gets even more interesting. While you pronouns generally come off as aggressive in adversarial contexts, the study found that in supportive contexts, where the message was clearly intended to be positive or affirming, using you could actually increase perceived receptiveness. For example, if someone says, "I hear you, and you're absolutely right," the you pronoun enhances the personal relevance and can make the message feel more engaging and persuasive. This suggests that the impact of pronouns isn't black and white. It heavily depends on the context and the surrounding language. In adversarial situations, you might close doors, but in supportive settings, it could open them wide. When I interviewed for my role at ASMSA, part of the day included a public forum with faculty and staff about both my work to date as well as my vision for the institution. During the Q&A portion after my presentation, an individual raised their hand and made the following statement/question that's fairly common in academic settings. They said, "I heard a lot of we's in your remarks. We did this. We accomplished that. What have you actually done?" Honestly, I was a bit taken aback by their remark. My response was that I believe our best work as a school is not accomplished through the work of any single person or even leader. Instead, it takes everyone demonstrating a shared commitment and investment to help our students, colleagues, and institution reach their full potential. Though I did take a moment afterward to go into my specific roles and responsibilities. So what's the takeaway here? Whether you're drafting an email to colleagues, giving feedback to students, or just having a difficult conversation, think about the pronouns you choose. If your goal is to persuade, to build bridges, or to create a more open dialogue, we might be your best friend. It reduces psychological distance and fosters a sense of unity. But if you're in a supportive conversation and want to emphasize the personal relevance of your message, don't shy away from using you. I think the story is a reminder that language is powerful, and understanding the subtle cues we send can make all the difference in how our messages are received and how effective our communication is.
A Slice with Dice is a production of the Arkansas School for Mathematics, Sciences, and the Arts. I hope today's reflection sparked some thoughts for your own journey. If you enjoyed the episode, please subscribe, share, and leave a review. Let's keep learning and leading together. Until next time, keep striving for growth and excellence. Thanks for tuning in.